All right. Well, here in Kansas City, Lawrence, Kansas, actually, at a KOA. Just got here. This one, camping for the weekend. Andrew, it always broke, is going to be working on my bike this weekend. I drove my big, ridiculous truck here, towed a trailer, but these tent sites aren't big enough for that big dumbass truck and a trailer. So I had to park the trailer over an overflow parking with my bike on it, either later tonight or tomorrow morning. Hopefully I'm going to be going to Andrew's place to get the bike worked on. I still don't know actually if he just does his stuff out of his house or if he has an actual shop. So we'll see that tomorrow, or maybe I'll ask him later on tonight. But I'm gonna go ahead, have a beer, get my tent and everything set up, and probably start editing some videos. So yep, probably set a camera up to let you guys watch me set up my tent.
Yep. So occasionally somebody will come by my work and move my bike because they know the code.
I did it. So I get infusions a couple exits down the highway from where he works.
Yeah.
I stop one day and I get on it and just start riding around the parking lot. And I ride around the parking lot 2 or 3 times, and there's a bunch of people outside at the other end of the building. Not a single word was said. Finally, this guy comes walking out of the middle of the parking lot and stands in my way, and he goes, "That is not your bike." I said, "Excuse me?" He goes, "That's not your bike. Why are you riding it?" I said, "I'm the one that works on it." I said, "I was just test riding it." Like, he was kind of getting kind of pushy. Mm-hmm. And I told Duane, I said, "I gotta get this guy like a gift card or something," because he stopped me. He goes, "If you didn't go around the building 3 times, the bike would have been stolen, so I'm not worried about getting him a gift card." And he didn't even work there. He was just a maintenance, like a ACHV guy.
Yeah.
But he's there enough to see that that's not the guy that gets on that bike. Why the hell is this kid riding it?
That ran mount on bars anyway, I can take it off.
No.
Okay.
Will you put your iPad on there with navigation on it, or?
Yep.
That's the first time I've seen that.
It works great. I can have Spotify on one side, and we use Scenic for navigation.
Is that the newer one, Duane?
Yeah.
Scenic?
I haven't tried it.
It's really good.
Typically, well, for true navigation, it's Google.
Yeah.
But Rever we use a lot.
Because it highlights the roads in different colors.
Yeah. Scenic will do the same thing. I like the actual navigation better on Scenic. And you can go through and there's options for, like, if you just want the fastest route, A to B, right, or if you want to balance between just get me through the boring spots and find some curvy roads, or if you just want it to find the curviest way possible to get there.
Yeah,
real good at taking you down gravel roads, though.
So before this bike, on my old Roadmaster, they didn't have a display at all. Mm-hmm. So we bought Garmin, mm-hmm, and it was, I could tell it, I want to be out 2 hours, find me curvy roads, and it would wrap me a route so I can come back in 2 hours. Nice. Like, that's nice.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys use iPhones or Android.
I have iPhone, he has Android.
Okay. Scenic is only for Apple devices right now. They're working on an Android version, so that's why I run my iPad, because I've got a Samsung phone. I've got my iPad so I can do like graphic design stuff. So. That just give you just enough clearance to do something you need, or okay.
So you don't have to pull. You're supposed to take the motor out, put it on a stand, blah 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 blah. You know, my second or third one, I was like, these things are too fucking heavy to be moving around.
Yeah.
And,
What's that motor weigh? Like ballpark?
Yeah, roughly 2 or 3 blown out balls. I honestly, I don't know. But when you take it out,
both of us can pick it up together.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I mean, just
when you take it out, with him straddling the bike, I can pick one side of the bike up, move it wherever I need to, go to the front, pick the bike up, move it wherever I need to.
Okay. Take better care of my stuff than I do.
No.
That way,
I
don't watch. Yeah, he's.
I don't want to hear it. So we're doing his forks on his bike. And I was like, grab a blanket. And he goes, what? I said, grab a blanket. For what? I said, set your fairing and stuff on, because if you were to go buy all the paint stuff for the Elite, you're spending $15,000. He goes, treat it like your bike. Oh, hell no. He goes, all right, here. And I handed it to him, and he just kind of sets it over in the corner on the concrete, and I was like, well, I didn't do it. And he goes, all right, from here on out, treat this bike like it's yours. And I was like,
I do not like the paint on that bike. It's not the reason I bought that bike. My old bike was a red and cream Roadmaster, beautiful bike. That one I liked. I took care of its paint.
Lies.
I took care of its paint better.
Okay, it did get washed more.
Yes.
Yeah, he said better, not good.
Right. It wasn't perfect, but it was definitely better.
Well, when there's bugs that are inlaid into it, like I should have showed you the fender last night. I was like, damn, Duane, what did you hit? This bug is ginormous. And I went like that, and the paint started flaking. I was like, and then one day he was over here, and it was in the daylight, and you can just see the divot in the front fender. I was like, you hit something good, or someone hit you in the parking lot. It's not pretty.
So it was a gravel truck. I remembered.
And now you remember?
I'm going down the road, and it's like ting, 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 ow, ow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it was then, because.
Okay,
He had it covered, but it wasn't helping much.
Yeah. The worst one was when I was on test ride and I got behind that sand truck. And I downshifted a couple gears and went around him. And I come around the corner and there's a sheriff's there. He's shooting radar on a bike and he gets up next to me. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I said, "Him, load, not covered." By the time I finished my test ride, they had that son of a bitch pulled over in front of my shop. Yeah, he got red flagged. Because I took care of all the sheriff's bikes. And I said, "Hey, you know I'm going to test drive him." He goes, "I don't care, as long as you don't pull anybody over." I said, "Did you just give me the okay to play with lights?" He goes, "You can play with the lights without the siren, or you can play with the siren without the lights." And I said, "Okay." Well, I rode it to lunch one day and I'm just sitting there in the parking lot. Oh my God, you should have seen everybody. I wasn't even paying attention until I started looking because everybody's pulling out, laughing. I don't have any kind of uniform on. And people are still just like, when they're getting close to me. And so I was telling him about that, and he was like, "Did you do any fun tricks on it?" And I was like, "Well, what the hell are you talking about?" He's like, "You gotta check this out." So you know how the Victories have the saddlebag protectors that come way up over? Mm-hmm. He literally pulls straight out of the parking lot, or out of the garage, throws the bike on the ground. He's still on it. This foot is like touching the engine, so it's not, because the floorboards are folded up. He's riding it in a circle as fast as he can, and he just stands up and rides away. It's like, okay, you're nuttier than a squirrel turd. But when Johnson County got the Victories, Lenexa got pissed off because they would go to Heartland Park and do training. Mm-hmm. Well, on track days, none of their Harleys could keep up, so they had ProCharger build them a Harley just for bike rodeos. That's when you know a city has too much money, when you go by and they sit there and they got a pro-charged big inch Harley just so they can screw with the Johnson County Sheriff's stock Victories. But what was cool is I opened up the saddlebag one day and I screwed up because I was trying to take saddlebags off to do rear brakes because I didn't feel like dropping the rear suspension. So, you know, and well, on these bags, they're just they're hard, but they have a little bit of a gap. Well, that was all molded in. They could put a full-length M16 into the saddlebag. God, I was like, if you drop a bike off at the bike shop, you would think that they would take the M16 out of the saddlebag. Craig, I really fucking hate your jeans today. So, I'm ready to start undoing the frame already. Cool. Alright, this is one thing I was going to show you. Yeah, we just start being lift over. So, stock location of the clutch cable goes down through here. Yep. So if anything happens, you literally have to take the frame apart to take the clutch cable out. So what I do, instead of running it between the frame and the motor, is I'll run it right here between this bolt on your floorboard and the clutch cover. You can literally change a clutch cable without having to take anything apart.
Okay.
So.
If that's how you do it, I trust you. You know more than I do.
I don't know about that. I can bullshit a bullshitter really well. So this is the first set of Hansen cams that we're trying out in a big 116. Thanks for being our guinea pig.
We hope it goes well. In theory, it should work.
He's been tuning them on this video game for a long time, and this bike in this video game is fast as hell.
Been off-roading much?
Well, when we went to Little Sturgis, our campsite was on a hill, like back behind a bunch of campers, and it was like midnight when we were coming in there to set up our tents and everything, because I think this is the first trip I've ever set up a tent before sunset. But we're riding on this hill around these campers, and there's just a bunch of places where it washed out real bad that we couldn't see. So we're trying to keep a little bit of speed so we can stay up on this hill, and then go through one of them, basically a creek.
Sounds like our kind of guy.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun ride.
Because you collected a little bit of dirt up here.
Yeah, I tried to get a lot of it out, but I also didn't take anything apart.
I'll cut this tire wrap here.
Do it.
Yeah. Yep.
Our buddy, one of the guys I ride with has a Pursuit now. He had a Victory cross country, and he dropped that bike I think 8 times that weekend trying to get to our tents or back to the road from our tents. He just couldn't keep it up on that hill.
Was it our first trip we were out? We're in Colorado. Come up on this hill. Well, this pull off to look out, and the road going down the mountain was like this, but the lookout was like this. And he goes to pull in, and he puts his foot down, and the whole bike just topples over. So I hurry up, jump off my bike, and I was like, "Are you guys okay?" And he was like, "Hurry up, grab the cup." I'm like, what the hell? I trying to help him get his bike up because I'm not worried about the bike. Get the cup. The cup doesn't have insurance.
He felt better after that.
That's our running joke now. Because his son actually dropped that one in the driveway a couple weekends ago. And he was trying to be nonchalant to not get their attention. He's like, come here. And I go out there and I was like, okay. And by the time I'm showing him what he needs to do, because I'm not just going to pick it up. If you're going to drop the bike, you got to pick it up. So get it all picked up, kickstand put down. And Kimberly goes, you're going to have to learn how to do that before you ride it. And I looked at Duane, I said, go grab a blanket, let's lay it back down. He goes, Andrew, you just picked it up off the damn ground, put it back down. You know how hard or how mentally fucked up I was setting a $35,000 bike back down onto the ground after you just picked it up?
Yeah.
Just to practice picking it back up.
Not hurting it at all.
It was hurting me more than it was hurting the bike.
Like 2 weeks after I bought this bike, we left for Florida on that trip last year. And we got down to Key West and we went to a bar down there, it's Hog's Breath Saloon. And back now to the spot we were parked in, I didn't notice there was a drain in the parking lot that was like an inch drop below the parking lot. So I'm tiptoeing this thing back out of the parking spot, can barely touch already, and I go to put my foot down right in the middle of that drain. Couldn't touch, dropped the bike on the right hand side, and both the guys with me were freaking out, oh my god, are you okay? Is the bike okay? It's like, yeah, the bike's fine, whatever, it still runs, it's running right now.
It didn't even shut off?
No. It fell over and perfectly hit the highway peg, which was still set, the highway pegs were still set for my buddy. So it actually moved it into where I could touch it and actually use it.
So you dropped it on the other side to adjust the foot pegs?
I was thinking
What are
about
you driving your bike
trip.
for? Gotta adjust
Just
the
sit on
foot
that
one.
Ready for some air ride?
Yeah. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There we go. I might actually, we should be able to get it. No, we're gonna have to go back a little bit because of that. Alright. When you said Dark Horse, I totally forgot it had these chrome tubes on it on the early Dark Horses.
Mm-hmm. It's really fucking nuts.
If I would have known that, I would have had some black ones ready. Go look at my bike. Or even the Elite. The Elite comes with them that way. Of course, they started doing it after I was like, I gotta change this damn chrome. Tell you what, they're worth the money they're waiting to gold, it seems like. They're pretty damn good.
How
I think
hard
it just
are
cleans.
those to take out? You have to pull the heads to get those, or are they like a Harley where?
You're split, yeah. Now, there is a cheat to do it. If you have the cam tool, you can unbolt these and take your cams and stuff out and then take this cover out. I've done it a few times that way. And you can do that with the motor in the bike.
Yeah.
Okay, I got the 40 out ready to rock and roll already.
Doesn't take too long to drop the motor, does it?
No, I don't even know what you're doing. I'd probably still be working on it next weekend.
Oh, I'm still in the trenches, so I'm trying to figure it out. Sure, I have a torque wrench, but I just put pretty round numbers in it just so it makes my OCD feel better. And I shit you not, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mechanics when I left the dealership. Me and my buddy were the only ones that had torque wrenches.
Jeez. So that's just like a valve cover.
Decorative. If you look at all the land speed bikes, they don't even have those on it, so heat can escape. The machinist that did my chain, he wants to go in and haul those out, because if you look at the older Indians, that's how they were. These were just hollow open fins. Alright, I warned you about the smell last night.
Yeah.
We're about to get to it. You know what
Oh, you mean the motor?
Oh, well, mine's a given. You want to grab another thing? Yeah, there's a second in there.
my first big boy job, making more than minimum wage, I decided I was gonna go buy me a nice vehicle, so found a 07 Trailblazer SS all-wheel drive at a car lot. Went and bought it, and just drove the absolute piss out of that thing. Used the throttle like an on-off switch for like a year. And then I was coming home from a party, Memorial Day weekend, and had to drive through a town to get home. So I decided it was probably a good idea to just set the cruise and not be an idiot. So cruise set at 55 miles an hour, make it like a mile from town, like 5 miles back to my house from where I'm at. Gauge cluster starts flashing, low oil pressure, shut off engine. So I put it in neutral and coast to a stop on the side of the road, and I've got a trail of oil for like a mile behind me. Completely blew out both sides of the block. I think 4 pistons ended up just completely leaving.
Yeah, he windowed his block on his. We were racing in an MK4 Supra. That was pretty quick. It ended up, I never knew it. I've known this guy for a long time. And he went to go put his house up for rent because they built a new house. And it's literally a block away from their house.
Oh.
But that thing sat forever trying to figure out what I was going to do with it. I finally pulled the motor out, and there wasn't anything really savable there. So, it butchered the heads, everything.
Really?
Just wiped everything out there. One of the rods left through the oil pan, so the oil pan was junk. And I found a guy on Facebook in Wichita that had a engine out of an 08 SS all-wheel drive, complete engine. Told me he'd sell it to me for $1,000.
Yep.
Running when pulled, sent me videos of it. Awesome. Borrowed buddy's truck, drove all the way to Wichita. Had to wait for the guy to get off work, even though he told me he wasn't working that day. Drove all the way back home with the engine because I'm an idiot and didn't think, hey, maybe I should check this out before hauling it all the way back home.
Mm-hmm.
Get back home, get it on an engine stand, pull the drain plug out, and it's just silver and chunky for like 15 minutes, and then some oil comes out. Flipped it over, pulled the pan off, and 3 of the rods had like an 1/8 inch of play back and forth on the crank.
Damn.
Yep.
That should be powder body? You already got powder body. No, that's the same thing. Yep, that's it. Okay, cool. So we got everything.
Go 408 stroker, got 706 heads off a 4.8 liter.
Oh, okay.
Because apparently they flow the same as the factory LS2 heads, but they have a smaller combustion chamber.
Yep, up the compression a little bit.
Yep. Which I don't know why I did that, because eventually I want to go turbo, and I want this motor to live for a little while. So, guess I'm gonna have to get good at tuning.
Yeah. I'm gonna get.
Yes or no? You gonna keep it secret, or are you gonna advertise it?
I don't know
That's
yet.
the question. Shit's an old stock 111. I don't know how you guys can't keep up.
See, Jib's a little butthurt that I'm getting them because he's been, since the new Sport Chief came out, he's been trying to talk his wife into getting one of those.
and he wants to get the Hanson cams in it for just for the sound more than anything.
Yeah.
And
I wish I could get the specs on the cams themselves. So I'm trying to compile a list of all the different cams and all the characteristics of it.
yeah, so they don't give you a cam card or anything on it.
Yep. I even asked Eric one day about it. He goes, honestly, man, he goes, it'd take me a day or two to go through all the paperwork to find it, and I don't have time to. So, because they're used to two-stroke stuff that doesn't even use a cam.
Yeah.
And he started doing side-by-sides, and he found out how easy it was to pick up power easily just by putting cams in.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Thunderstroke came out, someone that worked for him had Thunderstroke, and that's how they came about doing them. And I don't know how I even came across them, finding them. Because if you search Indian cams, you have Indian cams, you have Lloyd's, you have Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a while to find
Woods,
Woods.
yeah.
And then I don't know how I found those. And I called Eric. I said, hey, have you ever done these with a big bore kit? And he goes, honestly, I don't know what the valve to piston clearance is on the 116. And I said, shit, I'll be a guinea pig, send them to me. So for me being the first person, he gave me a pretty good deal on them. And when he wanted them, I called him. I said, hey, do you mind doing a dealer thing? He was like, yeah, that's fine. And after he did them, I did 4 or 5 of them, like bam, 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 bam. And he was like, are all these guys around you doing them? I said, yeah. He goes, so they run that good? Because we don't have anybody up here to compare them to. I said, yep. I said, I have a couple sets of Lloyds sitting around because people took them out, because it's either you're going balls to the wall or you have nothing.
Yeah.
And these,
Well, we're going to find out. Because my next service, I'm going to put in.
we haven't had anybody with a good tune.
Exactly. So, my next service, I'm going to take those out and put in the Lloyd's 585.
Yeah.
See, I want to tune it the best of my ability, and then give it a good comparison, right? Say what can it do?
As close to apple as you can
Right.
get.
And then, so my old bike had Andrews 570s in it. And
See, I
really
didn't even see any Andrews cams when I was looking for cams for this bike.
And I like the way it ran now. So right off the bat, off the starting line, they could beat me off the line. But then again, it was the guy in Grandview tuning it. It wasn't me tuning it, right? So I want to give it a good test again at some point. So that bike is still stock, and I'm not going to do anything until my wife is actually riding it. She feels better, because I want her to get used to the bike stock, and then we're going to make a change, right? We'll put an air filter on her. How does it feel, right? Can you tell the difference? Put in these cams. How do you like it, right? We'll let her decide what cams you want. So this is all the ones we've tuned. This is how they all act, right? That's what one of the reasons I really want the specs on these is so I can show here, right? Here's the cam overlap. Here's the lift. Blah blah, right? All this stuff, and say this is what you're going to. The pros and cons of each one.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's some really good pros to this one. There's some big cons as well.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's so much overlap, it's a pain to tune.
Yeah. That's what I ran into with the guy tuning my Trailblazer. Because the first cam I had in it was pretty nasty, and when that one got jumped up I had a couple lifters fail and turn sideways and just completely roached the cam. So I'm going link bar lifters now, and I went with a
what link bars are you going with? Johnson's?
No,
What side do you want?
I can't even remember.
I'll be on this side.
It's been like 4 or 5 months since I bought them. It's just been sitting in a Tupperware container of oil.
I bought new slicks for my car 2 years ago so I could get it out. They're still sitting over there. Last summer I bought a funny license plate for it, going, oh yeah, I'll really get it out. It's still sitting upstairs. Because you're going to have some funny stories on there, I have a feeling. He doesn't know this is his first podcast episode.
I've got a...
How many sponsors do you think we can get out of this episode? We need Michelin. We are already kind of sponsored by Recluse. They help us out a lot.
They can get the Commander, the front tire fixed. That'd be great.
Yeah. Or bring the Commander 2 back, because a lot of people love the Commander 2. What other products do we need?
HP tuners would be nice.
Yeah. I'll have to talk to Chris over there at HP Tuners, but, you know, Neil at Toad's Tuning's been helping us a whole lot. Really like Neil over there at Toad's Tuning. Aftermarket Assassins are pretty cool guys. You know, I'd like to give a shout out to my mom.
Which one?
Both of them. Both of them. Both of them. There's this breakfast place that's really good. If you get up early enough tomorrow, we could go try. So this is funny. When we were down in Colorado, Mom's gluten-free, and she gives me this app. Try to find a good restaurant for breakfast. Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll see what I can find. I'm not promising you anything. And I find this one, and it says it's 100% celiac friendly, blah, blah, blah. And I look at the menu, I was like, okay, that looks really good. I tell them about it, so we go try it. You can't tell anything is gluten-free in this place.
Really?
The pancakes, amazing.
The gluten-free pancakes actually taste
Better
than
the regular pancakes. Oh, will you grab me those 2 bowls, please? Well, anyway, we're there for 3 days and we eat there 5 times. And by this time, the waitresses are just loving it because we won't stop screwing with them. Mm-hmm. And like one of them, I kept telling her, she kept asking me, "Do you know what you want?" And I was like, "Yeah, you're not on the menu," and all that stupid stuff. But the last day, she goes, "Is there anything else we can help you guys before you guys leave?" I said, "Yes, we need one in Kansas City, please." She goes, "Well, email corporate." So, of course, I email corporate, and I get Randy, the guy that owns the whole joint. And he goes, whereabouts in Kansas City are you? I said, "I'm not too far from the racetrack, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "That's funny. I grew up in Kansas City. I went to Shawnee Mission South." So that's great. But can we get a restaurant in Kansas City? Because I'll look into it. A couple months later, because I think we got a spot figured out. A couple months later, I got a grand opening. You guys are invited. Great. Now we screw with all the employees out there. Well, I do. And like one of them, she will not give me chocolate milk because we thought, well, I am lactose intolerant, but I love chocolate milk, but it'll ruin my day.
We told her when we were there the first time,
which should have never been. That is patient confidentiality.
He's lactose intolerant. We were joking. Cut him off on the milk, right? Because we have to be around him. Can you do us a favor and not, right? So since then, it's always
nope
a running thing. He gets 1 glass and that's it.
Really? You have to throw running in there because it. So yeah, it's 1 glass and I'm done. She cuts me off. Well, anyway, the manager will come over and I'm like, "Can you go talk to Bree?" "Yeah, what can I tell her?" "If a customer wants chocolate milk, a customer gets chocolate milk." So he'll go over there and she just gives me the death stare. And like one of them, I was screwing with her so bad, I said, "Do not make me call your boss." She goes, "He's right over there. Why would you call him?" I said, "I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about the owner." She goes, "And you know the owner?" I said, "Yeah, his name's Randy." She goes, "Oh."
She says, "I'm the reason this restaurant's here."
Yeah.
Very funny.
So
yes, very very good restaurant.
couple times ago, the weights have been getting out of hand because they didn't get a real big spot. I guess they were just kind of testing it. So I emailed him one day and I was like, hey man, you guys are doing great, blah, blah, blah. But you need a bigger spot or more locations. He goes, yeah, we're looking at 2 or 3 more locations right now. It's like, great. Now we actually have a motorcycle ride to go get breakfast? Because we'll ride 2 or 3 hours for ice cream. I don't know what we'll do for breakfast.
We were definitely considering going for breakfast in Colorado. It's that good.
Yes.
Jeez.
What did you guys do this weekend? Oh, we rode to Colorado for breakfast. Huh?
As soon as I told Jib about you guys riding 2 or 3 hours for ice cream,
Yeah.
that boy's eyes got as big as dinner plates. He was all about it.
So he went on vacation without me. I still haven't forgiven him for that yet. But
Which one? Which one?
With Chance's parents.
Oh my God.
So he's out in
Cut
Colorado.
this out. No, I'm joking.
They're out in Colorado.
This is bad.
And he calls me. He says, you up for a night ride? I said, I thought you were still on vacation. You in Colorado? He goes, I'm looking on the phone. I got a tracker running, right? So it's like,
You probably need one.
You're out in Colorado. He goes, yeah, you want to meet me halfway?
No. Okay, so before all this, our plan was we're in Grand Junction. We're 20 miles away from Utah. So we're on the complete other side of Colorado. Well, we're riding through Colorado, and my buddy's fiance, now wife, or whatever you want to call her, we have got to go to Denver to go shopping. It's just an hour and a half, 2 hours out of our way. We're trying to get home. Bitch says, bitch get your sheet. It's Punani runs the world. So we
She's
get
a
there.
nice girl.
Yeah.
She's nice. She puts up with a lot.
Pouring down rain, and they want to walk around and go shopping. Well, then I go to eat with them, and they're over here ordering all kinds of stuff, and I said, can I just get the 3 chicken strip meal? I get my bill, and it's $55. So what's up with this? They split it 3 ways. Hey, my bill should be $8. I'm not paying for your guys' bullshit. $8. I'll give
There's
you 20.
5 of you, right?
Yeah, I'll give you $20. You know, and I'm keep asking the waitress, will you go please fix my ticket? Will you please go fix my ticket? Nope, I split it up equally. Listen here, I don't eat any of that shit. I had 3 chicken strips and some French fries and a soda. $8. Can we figure this out somewhere? This is after in downtown Denver, it is all parking meters. Well, I find this one because they're all riding around trying to find free parking. They're like, where you at? I said, it's $1.25. Just go to a parking meter. They come back around the corner. Hey, can you put your bike sideways? Why? So we can all 3 park here. I've already paid for it. Great. You sons of bitches. It's like, okay, I'm done. So yeah, we're leaving Denver, and they keep asking me, where do you want to stop at for the night? Where do you want to stop at for the night? Are you okay on this side of the state line, or do you want to go into Kansas? Where do you want to stop? Do you want to stop in Goodwin? Blah 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 blah. Duane, what are you doing tonight? I'm about ready to play some games. Why? What's going on? You want to go for a night ride? Dude, you're not going to be home till late. Exactly. Do you want to meet me somewhere? I guess. Where are you at? We'll meet somewhere halfway. So he comes just past Fort Riley, I think. So he's 4.5, 5 hours, 6 hours away from home. He left, it was, what, 107 or something here, stupid hot?
Stupid hot. And got hotter as I'm going across Kansas.
And get this, when we left Denver, we get out of town and it's sunnier and shit, so I put my sunglasses on. By this time I get into Kansas, they split away from me and I'm just like this, just flying across Kansas. And you get close enough and your headsets will match up. I was like, hey, I'm getting off the exit. He goes, I'm getting off the exit on the other side of the bridge. I said, cool, there's a gas station over here. I'll meet you there. Great. And I was like, I thought I was going to be able to make it home, but man, my eyes are starting to get blurry. I am tired. You know, it's like, so are you going to get a spot here tonight or something? And I was like, I don't know. So I go to take my glasses off, take my helmet off, and open my eyes. And I was like, oh shit. And he goes, what? I said, dude, I've been riding all night long with my sunglasses on.
Oh man.
We leave there, and then we had another buddy meet us. Another hour and a half, 2 hours into the ride. Right on the other side of Salina. And it was funny as they had this both stop for tolls, and I have a K-tag on my bike. Mm-hmm. So I would put my hands up my feet up by the handlebars and lean back like this for my pictures. What are you guys doing? Oh, just getting ready for pictures. Okay,
we're coming back.
I do 24.
Side by side.
46.
Right? 4-lane highway. So we're side by side. Lights on bright because it's pitch black out. Semis on the other lane, way far flashing is trying to
Cool, I still got it. It is 46.
We're flying. Ruben's trying to keep up.
Yeah, that was funny. That was really funny. So, this Mexican guy that we hang out with, really good-hearted guy, really funny. It will talk your ear off about the same thing 10 times in a row.
But if you ask him to do something, he'll do it.
Yeah.
Without question, he's going to do it for you.
Well, the funny thing is, we're leaving here, and it was this was another trip they didn't go on. We found these little cabins, and they're awesome, just right off this awesome highway down in southern Missouri.
It's not a cabin. It's a portable
shed.
garage shed.
It is a shed, but
they've converted it to
really nice. And we found them on the way back from Tennessee, and we met the owners, and I was like, guys, I've got to get your numbers. I'm not dealing with Airbnb. I'm just going to call you directly. Yeah, that's fine. And now we've been down there so much. She goes, you know the key code? You know where to leave money? We're going to the river for the weekend. Okay. We come and go as we please down there now. Mm-hmm. And we get about halfway down there and we stop and get something to eat. And I said, Ruben, we've got to get rolling. What? I said, look, it is, black over there. We've got to get rolling. We still, since we were taking the long way on the way down there, we're still 3 hours away because we're just zigzagging back and forth on fun roads. Okay, let's get on the highway and roll. So we get on the highway and we start rolling. And we're...
Yes, boss. We had the rub barbecue.
I thought she was going to say, did you guys have barbecue again for dinner?
Sorry.
So are you stepping up to the torque spec? Are you stepping up to the torque spec? Or?
It just says 46 on there, but I do it in 2 increments on these.
Okay.
And I've always done it that way. And it says 46, but since I'm using the extension, I go a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So.
Love you. Bye.
But on the way down there, it's pouring so bad, you can't see anything except for the lines in the street that your headlights or your highway lights are hitting. So I'm going off of that. And every time we'd come to a 3-way, we'd stop so he could have a cigarette and calm down. And he's like, are you running over all the frogs? I said, I'm not paying attention to that shit. I can't see that shit. And he goes, dude, there's frogs everywhere. It's like speed bumps out here. And I was like, I am not paying attention to it at all. We finally get to the cabins. And it's like, I'm going inside. It's storming its ass off. I'm taking a shower and I'm going to bed. I go inside and I pass out because it's raining on the metal roof. Mm-hmm. I'm done, so. Well, I wake up to him knocking on the window. Hey, Andrew! He's like, what, Ruben? Dude, your bike's over here laying on the ground. Yeah, right, Ruben. I'm not waking up. Dude, I'm not lying to you. I wouldn't lie to you about something like this. So I go outside. My bike is just fucking belly up outside in the middle of the parking lot. I said, Ruben, it got so tired of you, it had to take a nap too. Fuck you, man. Fuck you, man. I will tell him, dude, we screw with him so much. Like, what happened to his bike that he had to ride on the back of Felix's? Oh, so I did this build on his vintage. And the injectors weren't scaled right. Couldn't get it to idle, and if you were riding it, you'd stop and it would die. This is the first one we did with True Duels. Could not get it figured out. Duane's like, just let me have the bike for a couple days. I'll get it tuned. You'll be golden. And we're out riding one day, and he meets us on this other Indian. He's like, so you having good luck with my bike? And he goes, it's done. You want to go get it? Yeah. Well, how are we going to get there? I don't know.
Take your bike home, hop on with Felix, and let's go to my house and pick up your bike.
I'm not doing that. And his buddy Felix, I'm not doing that. It's like, you guys are a bunch of pussies. I said, if I get the opportunity to jump on the back of a bike, I don't care who's riding it, I am taking a nap. Dude, he gets on the back. His buddy is this tall.
He's not quite tall. He's about that tall.
But he's as tall as he is round. He's an Oompa Loompa. And he gets on, he can't touch the ground. Ruben is touching the ground from the back seat better than he can from the driver's seat. The whole way to their house, I'm right next to him on the highway with my phone going like this, and they're both like this. The funniest fucking shit ever. Man, I don't know why you gotta do that to me. Because it's hilarious.
It's all memories. Making memories.
Yes. Some of the stuff we've done, I don't. Our cylinder's out already. Oh, I gotta put pistons on before we do anything. Pistons.